Thank you. So my name is Casper Winsnes. I'm the product owner or the manager of what we're going to show today. And with me I have Martin Irding, who's the CEO of FRISQ. So we're competing with the party outside, so I hope you want to stay for the demo. It will be also as exciting as the party outside. So what Martin will do now is show the care side of the application. Go ahead, Martin.
Exactly. So for this demo, I will be using the iPad for the care professional side of things, but I will also show the patient's view from the smartphone. So it is a very generic care plan software, applicable for pretty much any type of care pathways. In this example, I will show diabetes type 2. And the core of the application is the care plan in itself. So this is something that the care team has defined. They have defined a standardized care process that is then being transferred into an individual care plan, which obviously is individualized with certain aspects for each patient. For each of these items in this care plan, you can see that you have meetings with doctors, you have meetings with nurses, dietitian, and so on. It is defined what's going to happen before a meeting, what's going to happen during a meeting, and what will happen after a meeting. So that is the care plan. I will show one meeting very shortly. The care team also has a patient overview, which is the view that the care team should have in order to get the same view and the comprehensive view of the patient so that they can make informed decisions and not the least share information between each other in a care team. So for example, different types of assessments where different professionals can make their assessment of the patient. So I will now, before actually doing one meeting, I will connect the patient. So if the patient can and want to use a smartphone to participate in the care plan, they can. And in this example, I have actually two plans, because a patient is not just a patient in one clinic. A patient is often has several diagnoses and have relationships with both primary care center and as well as hospitals. So in this example here, you can see the diabetes type 2. And here you see the patient's view of the care plan. And we think from a sort of patient engagement point of view that it's really important that the patient also know what's going to come and not just look back at old EMR notes, but also know what the plan forward is going to be. So here you have a diabetes plan, and here you have one COPD plan actually. And those different plans, they are brought together into all plans, which is the truly individual plan with the activities from all of these plans. So this is one thing. Another thing that the patient can also be doing, which we find extremely interesting, is working with goals, and that the patient can choose to share data with their clinics. So here, for example, you see here that we set previously an overall goal to be able to play mini golf, but also that the patient should actually be moving. So for example, 5,000 steps. So this is actually my data from my health kit, which I have then chosen to share with my clinic in accordance with the new GDPR legislation. So what will then happen if the patient comes for a visit to, for example, a nurse here? So let's start that meeting and have a look at that. So here the patient should have been doing some things in advance. For example, the audit questionnaire. Fantastic. And then you can, of course, look at the answers. But if that's not possible, then you can, of course, fill that into the iPad directly, which is one of the advantages of using an iPad in a clinical setting. But not only that. In advance, the care team has also defined what's going to happen during this meeting. And that can be, for example, that the nurse should both record different types of aspects, such as this type of scientifically validated questionnaire. But it can also be other type of assessments, for example, red, yellow, green type of questionnaire. But then, in order to keep the time here, I'm just going to show you one last thing, and that it's of course important that this is securely being stored into the EMR system so that we have everything where it should be. So up to the right, you see that we can create an EMR note, and then that's an EMR note with both what the patient has been doing, but also what the care team member has been doing during this meeting. So when I now press save, that is being saved to the EMR system. And in this specific example, I am now actually saving this to a web-based EMR system, which is called CGM J4. The good thing about demoing that is that obviously I can bring it up here for you to have a look at. So exactly that meeting that we just now run is now being securely stored with the templates in the underlying EMR system. So, any questions on that?
Thank you. First of all, I think I forgot to introduce you because your name is not up there. You're Martin Irding, you're CEO of FRISQ, right?
Exactly.
And you are Casper Winsnes, PO.
Yes.
So, questions for these guys?
What traction do you have so far? Anyone using it? You're selling it anywhere so far?
So we have 6 or 7 pilot customers. We got it CE marked in December. So after that, the interest is enormous. And when we go out to clinics, 9 out of 10, it is like hallelujah. This is the product we have been waiting for 10 years. So we are both sort of working with like big public organizations such as Västra Götalandsregionen, as well as a couple of different more private care providers. And then we're working together with some of the EMR systems. We're also going to start working in Norway. We've also announced. So yeah, quite broad, but now it will be very exciting to see the results of the pilot implementation of this.
I think two things. Shared information between healthcare and patients is one of the topics we have to focus much more on. And the other one is patient engagement, and those two are covered by the solution. So I think it's a bright future for this company.
Thank you. Nothing else? Well, I'm going to say thank you to you, panel, for your questions, and thank you, FRISQ. Thank you to the audience, because we're a few minutes over. And have a great Vitalis, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us.